Margaritas are great for the stage fright, cause you ain't impressed by them lame guys. You get date night, late nights and game nights. Let's take a pic, the frame's right.
Millions of people across Spain and Portugal are without power this morning.
But Spanish and Portuguese governments have been holding emergency meetings after the outage.
We're having a barbecue now because everything is powered by electricity and we currently don't have any electricity. And I think it's kind of funny because it's classic scarcity mindset, honestly. People are getting crazy, they buy everything, and it's funny to see because it's actually like a shortage and then everyone goes crazy and then one person infects the next one and everyone is like, what's going on, we need to prep. And it's honestly, it's sometimes even like a little bit infectious, and it just shows if you can artificially create that in your marketing, that's honestly what you want, and that's, I guess, some part of the mastery to manage that. And yeah, anyways, it also this actually also just make sure you know how to act spontaneous. And we had some stuff, obviously it's not super difficult to cook that, but so it's kind of fun to like get a bit creative during the day, how to get Wi-Fi, electricity, charge stuff if there's literally like nothing around. Alright, we are back in Portugal for a last time this summer. This is my first time in 4 years to have an office working situation. I got two of my key guys in the business, Mark and Marcus, and no, I'm not hiring by name, to a small surf town in Portugal called Baleal. It's been a lot of back and forth between here Paris and also visiting home. But it's honestly super nice. I always love it here. What I like about this town is like it slows you down. Everything in this place revolves around surfing, which is super cool. It's obviously like a different vibe than just having entrepreneurs around you. I think people underestimate how many Portuguese people are actually still struggling to pay, especially if people like me and like us come here and take spots. Obviously nothing that I don't consider. So obviously, you try to be as nice as possible, give back where you can, and then make sure what you come for, that you really appreciate it and become very, very non-thankful. Sometimes the Portuguese surfing community here can be quite rough, especially the locals are a bit more on the aggressive side, I would say. Honestly, sometimes it's understandable, but there's also like some people that just think the ocean is theirs, which is, I think, kind of crazy to believe. But yeah, nonetheless, I enjoy being here all the time. We got a lot of things coming up. We're actually going to Bali for a nice little trip, probably a few months, with a couple of familiar faces that you might have seen before. So I'm super excited for that. And also, good to be in a different surrounding. Surf is going to be massive, probably. Like July should be peak season there. I don't know how I'll manage that. But it's cool to be on that side of the world again, because last year I really enjoyed Lombok with a few guys from the community. Enjoy the rest of the video. Alright, just finished our surf here. Obviously not the greatest weather, but sometimes you just gotta get some movement in. And I think it was about like 2 hours. Actually quite fun. First session here in Peniche. I actually have two of my friends and same time employees here at the moment, and a couple other friends, which is super cool. So we're dialing in a bit more, getting work done, also showing them a bit of the surfer lifestyle, which is cool. I think it's just like cool to have such a hobby where you can try out so many different things. And honestly, like it feels like every surf session is a little bit different, so it just never gets boring. And now we're gonna go back to work. And this is Mark finishing up one of our discovery calls, successfully converting a lead to the next step in our funnel to get a government grant. This is actually the furthest we can come to a close in terms of the lead in our line of business at this stage. Big board. Sending the boys to surf lesson.
Track of time when I'm with you. Yeah, you are the breeze I need. Cool me down when you're around. I feel.
Alright. We are currently in Portugal, and one of the things that takes a lot of time out of my day currently is finding a new board, because it's honestly like a science to find the right board, and I like to take my time for it, honestly, because even if I can't feel or tell all the small differences. I can feel like a little bit of a difference. It's a decision that I want to make consciously, because you can obviously rush into a decision, sell it again, but I just want to make sure I find a nice board and then keep it as like an all-rounder, and then maybe have like 1 or 2 more boards for like more specific days, maybe like longboard or something. And this actually, I tried this out earlier today already. Conditions weren't like super nice, so I'm gonna try it again, and we'll see how it goes.
Caressing you under the sun, kissing underwater in the ocean, watching you undressing when the day is done. Underneath the stars, it tastes like heaven.
Has just a little bit extra area here for your foot not to slip, and no negatives here. So.
Okay, then just open a little bit, yeah. Okay. Do all new boards have this one now?
What?
Or this fin box?
Man, there's 2 main fin boxes in the market, like FCS2 and Futures.
Alright, so as you can see, the new board is ready to go. It has been a bit of a mission to find the right board. I was literally trying out like half of these premium rentals here, like for like both sides, and I had a couple of few ones that I liked, that I didn't like, but main reason was like just sizing, like going down in volume. And now we have a 6 foot, 32.5 liters, which is interesting. And it's also like in terms of width, it's also been going down a little bit. So yeah, I'll see how that one goes, and yeah, maybe I'll get some of a second-hand board as well. Like I like to have like a long board, like an everyday board for like smaller waves as well, but like a short board. And then I'm gonna try and get another board that's even shorter, where I can really try to see how much of a surfer I am, and maybe also make some proper like progress in going down in terms of like volume and board size. But yeah, super sick. Hopefully it's gonna be something that I can surf for a while. Alright, so I'm back at the apartment and I'm gonna go for a surf run, but before, obviously you have to wax the board. The first wax job obviously is a bit more time consuming. It's okay, I'm not gonna spend too much time, but this is one last time before I put wax on there. I just love it. And don't judge my wax job. But as I said, like, the more and more time I've spent in the business world, the more I realize that you can't really, like, you can only make so many assumptions about something, but you will never really find out if you're right, if something's going to work or not, if you don't try, because things can work out way worse than what you imagine. Like, you have a good idea, you think in your head it's perfectly fine and working, and then you start and literally nothing works. I've had that a couple times before, where you invest a lot of time into something and prepare so much, and at the end of the day nothing works, or it doesn't work out, and you've just wasted a lot of time. I mean, you always learn something, but at the end of the day, I think the quicker you will realize that most of the time it just takes more than just one try. And I've actually also had surfboards before where I bought it, I stepped on it, and I was like, this is probably never gonna work. And that honestly happened. Is it like an irreversible decision, or can I also, for example, if you take it back to the surfboards, if it's not a good board, I can just sell it again, you know? Or I just keep it, or it's not gonna be the end of my life, if that's not the right thing, you know? And for me, it's just been like a trial and error with a lot of things in my life. Surfboards is just one of them. And I think at some point, even if you're able to buy one surfboard or multiple surfboards, new boards, rent, like used boards, whatever, this is just a topic where I like to spend my time on. Like getting more information about all this stuff, so I make the right decision quicker. Because even if, for example, you have a business that you want to start or an idea that you want to start, you just go in there, you try, it doesn't work, you just try but don't change anything or don't ask questions, or you don't have the right amount of, like, you didn't give it enough time, then it's obviously, or it could be the case that you're the problem, and it's not really about what you're doing, it's just like how you're doing it is wrong, that you're not really thinking about, okay, what could be wrong in this scenario. You know, if I use this board and I realize or I think it's the wrong color and that's why it's not working, maybe I won't be right. Maybe it's like the size, maybe it's the shape, it could be the material, and that's why I try to get like information out of the people that have more knowledge than me. Like, honestly, when I'm buying stuff, I sometimes can be, I guess, a bit of annoying, because with this topic I'm like, I want to know as much as possible, and at the end of the day, sometimes you pick a board, you have a good time, you pick a shitty board, but you learn something in the end, and it has a price. But if this board is nothing, then I paid the price for it, I paid it sooner than later. I know what's wrong, I know maybe where I need to practice, where I have to make a different decision, and it's all part of like the process. And I think that's what I love about surfing, that it's like such a detailed job, and it could be the board, could be that the waves aren't right, could be you just having a bad day, honestly, could be so many things that, what a vibe. It could be the case that it's honestly not you being the problem on like one day, you know, and you don't jump to conclusions straight away, and you make decisions based off like facts, you know. Anyways, this is not good, but I'll save you the time. It's probably gonna take me a couple more minutes.
Take a page on my book for you try to come read me. I spent a few years on the road with a map doing dash for the team and shit. Even that couldn't free me. I'm stuck in a cycle of financial ignorance. Seem like my happiness really depend on if I got the money. If not, I'ma get it and shit. That's
said differently,
we're checking,
why do it versus just...
I'm kind of always listening to Alex Mosey's podcast, can recommend. So what we're gonna do now is drive back to the main spot in Baleares, in that town, because I could tell there is some waves, but nonetheless I wanted to check what's going on here, because this spot always is a bit bigger. The tide seems to be a bit off in terms of the swell in combination with the tide. I think it's just not enough swell coming in. Swell meaning waves, technically. So we're gonna check the other spot, and I think that's gonna be the call for today. But I'll see. I'll keep you guys updated. Okay, here you can see the more beginner spot. That's why there's a lot of more soft boards. Very, very crowded. I mean, it's actually. Summer waves should be a bit more chill. It's actually not too crowded yet, but it doesn't look too bad. Definitely gonna jump in. Obviously the new board. The wax already got a bit yellow because I left it in the... Actually, a friend of mine left it in the bag when I was away. So that happens. But I'm actually not too sure if I'm gonna take it to Bali next. I mean, I love it, but it's obviously a bit of a hassle to travel with all the surf gear all the time, especially because I also don't really need this wetsuit. Like, honestly, my travel luggage has been very, very much the same for the last 2 years. I have like one big suitcase, one small one, laptop bag, and the day bag, and that's honestly served me very, very well. So, and it's easy for me to like carry everything by myself without having to need a card or a second person or whatever, because that's obviously a pain. But yeah, stuff gets more. You have camera equipment, you have surf equipment. I feel like at least half of it is like gear for working out or surfing or doing that, which obviously my favorite saying is a privileged problem, but yeah, it's obviously like something you can't really test until you realize when you're at the airport that it's not working or you're traveling that it's not really nice. But yeah, so not sure about the board. I honestly love it, like how it behaves, but you need a bit bigger waist than what's currently here in Portugal in the summer. But Bali should be honestly pumping, as far as I know. So a friend of mine, Milos, he's there right now. He was in the Mentawai and looked absolutely mental. Anyways,